Hello everyone and welcome back to Chrome Cardboard, where today obviously you can see we're going to be talking about the Cyberpunk TCG beta pre-release. This is coming up over the next weekend, so let's dive into that. So I'm here with Kieran, my usual co-host. How are you doing today, Kieran?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been looking forward to these beta pre-release events. So now we've got some dates and we've got the store locator showing us who's doing what and where. It's good to finally get going, get some tickets booked, and get ready for it.
It's exciting, isn't it? These beta pre-releases are really getting us in the mood for the game, seeing what's actually what it's going to play like from a sealed perspective, which is I'm a big fan of sealed formats in TCGs. I think they play really well. So excited and a little bit concerned about our analysis of cards because we've never done a Cyberpunk TCG pre-release just yet. So we'll give our thoughts and feelings.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
But yeah,
and if it's not, people let us know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if you don't win your pre-release, don't blame us. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, but if you do win it, you're welcome.
Just let us know what the outcome is after that. So let's jump in. So obviously, as you can see on the screen there, we've got the Cyberpunk TCG pre-release. So first of all, what is a pre-release event? So this is a before the fact sealed event. So they are going to be running between the 10th and the 20th of September. That's just the date of when Weirdco have decided to run these. We also have a retail pre-release. That is the week before the game actually officially releases on the 7th of November or the 6th of November.
Yep. I think it's the 6th, isn't it?
Yeah, these are different events because the beta pre-release basically is an opportunity for any of the people that did not back the Kickstarter to get some of the beta cards. So in the beta stamped cards that any backers may be getting, that's their opportunity to jump in, get some of those exclusive shiny cardboard, and that's what we're all about here at Chrome Cardboard.
Yes, sir.
Sealed events. What's a sealed event? What is a sealed event? You get 6 packs usually, and then you build a deck using those cards. You
usually get about 30 minutes to 50 minutes to build a deck, don't you?
So you open your packs, whatever cards you get to build a deck with, and then you play with those cards. No trading. It is what it is. That's what you've got. It's just that's the format.
That's the good fun of it, though. You get a limited pool, and you've got to make it work somehow.
Exactly,
which is part of the reason I do enjoy sealed.
And as mentioned above, Welcome to Night City, which is the name of the set. We'll have 2 events, the beta and the retail event, on those dates that we've mentioned above. So, what is in the box? First of all, the one thing everyone's excited about is the promo. We know it's going to be the Mantis Blade. I don't know if there's any others on the list, but we definitely know about the Mantis Blade. It's a really nice art. It's extended border, and it's got the beta stamp. That is going to be the exclusive part of this.
It's really nice.
You get 6 packs, as we mentioned, to build your deck. You get 1 legend pack containing an extra 3 legends. This is just to widen the scope of what you can do with your deck building, because obviously you're going to get a legend in each of your pack. So I think you'll end up with 9 in total, unless there's like legend promos, because you can play the promo card. So that's just something to bear in mind. Dice are included. This is one of the best things that they've included in the pre-release for me, that dice is going to be involved.
To be fair, has dice goblins as well. So we'll take any dice we can get.
Absolutely. Anyone that plays D&D as well, knows that having a set of dice is always a nice thing. But just the fact that it takes away that the not needing to bring all of these things with you on the day,
you can one less thing to pack, isn't it, and mess around. All I will say is make sure you bring a playmat, guys. no one wants to be raw dogging the cards on the table.
And sleeves. Sleeves are important.
Yes, sleeves and playmats.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's talk about how to actually build a deck. 3 legends. These will be determined from your legend pack that we've just mentioned, the boosters that you open. You can't trade for any legends at this point. You have to build with what you open. So if there's a really specific legend that you want to play, if you do not get it, you cannot play it. It's just the rules of sealed, unfortunately. I know there's some cards that me and you, Kieran, are on the lookout for in our sealed.
Yes.
It is what it is. You've just got to build with what you get. And that's what makes, as Kieran mentioned before, that's what makes the format fun. That's what makes it replayable.
Definitely.
Over the course of the set, Constructed can get a little bit stale when you're playing the same decks, or the meta's solved. So this is a good way to keep the game fresh. So deck building restrictions. So there is some restrictions in the deck. You have to run a minimum of 30 cards, not including your legends. So that'll give you a min total of 33. Just the requirement. Selecting the colours is a bit convoluted because you can only play 3 colours. So even though there's 4 in the game, and usually you can throw any colours into a deck, in other games you can just throw any of the colours in. You can't do that here. You can only play 3 colours. The important thing to note is that they don't have to match your legends. This is the big thing, and where I think will trip up a lot of people.
Yes.
We're going to jump into an example. So, for example, you play a red, yellow, blue crew. They're your legends. Your main deck can be red, yellow, green. It just, again, a little bit convoluted. You have to play 3 colours in the main deck, and then your legends can be any colour.
I think it makes an interesting caveat on it, I guess, as opposed to usual pre-release, because it's not completely unrestricted, but it's not making you follow the restrictions of the standard deck building we see in Cyberpunk. It's kind of in that middle ground somewhere, which kind of makes it a bit interesting.
Oh, absolutely. I think, usually when in a sealed format, you open all your packs and you put aside, these are the cards that I'm definitely going to play.
Yeah.
You can't really do that here. What you do the same thing, but then you go, actually, what are my best 3 colours? What's going to work together better? Because these are colour I can't play now.
Yeah.
Which
it's sort really of the same. Oh, definitely. So I think you sort of do the same process, but then you just look through your separate piles and you have to eliminate a colour, don't you? And you know what? That's the weakest colour pile. That's got to go.
Yeah.
And then, there's going to be a lot of thinking involved in the pre-release of this, I think. Just because you've got your legends to think about, 3 different legends, and then you've got to choose your different colours, as opposed to some other TCGs that's a lot more straightforward. So I think you are going to have to, have a think about your deck when you build this and not rush into it too quick.
Exactly.
So bear that in mind, people.
You've got to build with what you get, and that is just so that's what makes sealed. I know I keep saying it, but that's what makes sealed so good, is because these cards out there we want to play with all the time, and these are our favorite cards in the game. But then you might find a little gem for sealed where you're like, that card is a quote unquote bad card, but actually it's really good in this format, and that's what's good.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's always a card which does absolutely nothing in Constructed, and then it's a superstar in sealed. And it's like, and then it gets the juice for the week, and then that's it. No one ever plays it again.
Yeah, exactly. You'll go, this card's amazing, and then never touch it ever again because it's awful and constructed. But I think I've put up a little example here. So in standard deck building, your 3 legends determine the way you build your deck. So if you play 2 red legends, you get 4 RAM. The RAM does not matter here. You do not need to worry about the RAM restrictions on any of the cards. And I've put there as an example, if you pull a Metal Over Meat, the Atom Smasher 9 cost, you can play that in these decks. Might
You
not
can.
be the best idea, but you can do it. So, bear that
Probably
in mind.
not, but I'm sure someone will be running that.
Yeah, and if they pull it off, I'll be so happy to see it. But I don't see it being the most optimal way to build your deck. So, what to think about when building your sealed deck? First thing we want to really, really harp on about is sellables.
Yep.
There's some really good cards in this game. If you want to play them all, you have to put sellables in your deck. Constructed, I've found that it's around 60% is the sweet spot. It's going to be a little bit different for sealed, because obviously if you're running a min deck, which I will aim to be running a 30 card deck, I think maybe 16, 17 is probably the number I will be aiming for.
Yeah,
but it depends on what you pull in your packs.
Definitely. I think ideally you want to be hitting that 50-60% mark still.
Yeah.
If not a bit higher, just to give yourself that, because you're going to have less ways to filter your deck, so you do really need to see sellables early on in the game.
But it's going to be really difficult as well, isn't it? Because imagine if you only pull 12 sellables that you can play. You just have to go
I know. Exactly.
We've not actually got our hands on the cards. We've not opened any packs. We don't really know what the sort of the weight of pulls are. So it's hard to really say at this point. But 6 packs isn't a lot of cards, and there's 12 in a pack. So it's
that's what 72 cards. So
it can be quite tight to get 17 sellables that are going to be actually working the colours that you want to play. And this is another thing to go back to. With the deck building restrictions of the 3 colours, you might have loads of sellables in one colour and go, well, I don't want to play that colour.
Yep.
But then that might guide your deck building decision because you have to play them sellables. So,
definitely. And then you might have to lose some of your more powerful cards, shall we say, to be able to play your sellable cards.
Exactly.
And actually get going at the start and, play the game. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens for sure.
Yeah. Them powerful cards that you've just touched on as well, if you can't sell anything to get to those powerful cards, it's pointless putting them in your deck. So
exactly, they're not powerful, are they? Then they're
exactly. We say it all the time. The most power, obviously we play a lot of Magic together, Kieran. The most powerful cards in Magic the Gathering are lands. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. Without lands, you do not play the game.
We've seen it happen to other players. We've had it happen to ourselves. You sat there, you just cannot do nothing, and you're just like, I'm going to go get a coffee and a cake, guys, while you play this game.
Yeah, and you look at your hand of absolute gas going,
I
just wish I could play these.
If only I had some lands.
It'll be the same with sellables. Put sellables in your deck. Next,
definitely.
We have blockers. So we talk about blockers quite a lot on the channel. Very impactful cards. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth in these games because you're not going to see a lot of blockers, I don't think. So the ones that you do see, I think you have to get in the deck.
Yeah, I think any blockers you pull, for me, are probably going to be auto-includes. I can't remember off my head how many blockers we have in this set, but there's not tons, is there?
It's not loads. I think it's
probably 10 or less, maybe.
I think blue's got 3. I think there's 2 in yellow. Green's got corpo security.
Yeah.
There's probably less than 10.
Yeah.
Around.
So if we say 10 less, just for argument's sake, out of the amount of cards in the set, 142 is it or so, that you could potentially pull. Again, I'm just pulling these numbers out of my head, so I'd be probably wrong. But yeah, the odds of you getting blockers are going to be quite low. So for me, I think auto includes the stop you losing gigs, you can buy the extra turn. Some of the blockers as well, which we'll probably touch on later, are really good blockers as well. Really good effects. So
for this format,
yes,
absolutely. Next, vanillas. So I mean, we spoke about vanillas again on this channel quite a lot, but stats over synergy in this format is so important. There's some really 100%. Good cards. I know, Kieran, you're a big fan of my man Bridget.
Yes,
it's not. It's one of the best cards of the game.
Yeah,
Is it any
I don't
use
think
here?
it's going to do much. No, I don't think so.
Exactly.
I just, it's not a card I'm looking to hopefully pull personally. I think like I say, it's a really good card, but to discard 2 programs from your hand in sealed to potentially remove something good off the board, I don't think it's worth it.
No.
Unless it's like
Especially
late
with the
game
stats
and you,
as well.
yeah, I mean, it's one of them cards. Like if you did pull it and you did have tons of programs and you pulled tons of programs, you maybe play it just to hopefully pull it late game and do something. But I don't think it's worth it. I'd rather play a 6-10 vanilla, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Animal Wrecker, I think in this format is going to be an absolute menace.
Exactly. Like
it takes 2 gigs on its own. Like,
yeah.
you don't even have to buff it with any gear. It just takes 2 gigs. That is huge in sealed, and that's where, again,
yes,
your blockers are so important. Just block off that attack. Try and find a way to deal with that unit. I mean, like, obviously a really good way to deal with it is Placide. Again, I don't think Placide is going to see much play in sealed.
No, I don't think so.
I'm just saying, like, these cards are going to be hard to deal with. Don't really know how you deal with an Animal Wrecker, to be honest.
I don't think you do. Like, unless you've got some removal, which we'll touch on in a minute, I don't think you are dealing with it. But vanillas in every TCG pre-release are really good. And then Cyberpunk seems to have just been like, you know what? We like the vanillas. Let's just make them just a little bit more powerful.
Just have like a
6-10 stat line is crazy.
Yeah.
Like usually a vanilla is. Yeah. It's usually 2 powered above cost, isn't it? That's like a general guard for vanilla. It's like it's usually a 6-8. But yeah, some of the ones they've given us are just good luck dealing with Animal Wrecker if your opponent plays it. That's what I'm saying.
And I hope I'm the one playing it because it's just a bit of a mad card.
Hopefully pull 3 of them. I just play them back to back to back.
The only downside with it is a 6 cost. So obviously, like, you know, that is going to be your top end. But as soon as that hits the board, it's going to be a menace.
Definitely.
And then the next thing we want to talk about, as Kieran just mentioned, removal. It's going to be few and far between in these packs. Just try and get it in if you can. If they've only got an Animal Wrecker on the board, Kieran's favourite card, Les Elements, it deals with it. So you can remove these cards, you can remove these threats. You just have to be smart about your gameplay, how you play the game, deal with what you can deal with, and just play with the removal you get because it is good. We've also got
definitely
what's the green one? Wild on the Streets. Just defeat a spent unit.
Yep. I think for me, powerful. Like removals also include because I think you can sell all of it, can't you? There's no removal stuff that you can't sell, so it's worst case you just sell it and you use it that way. I don't see a reason not to include it. Really, it's highly beneficial if you need to remove something and you get the chance to use it. It's a game swinger, especially in sealed. Worst case, like I've just said, you just sell it. Even stuff like Chrome Revere, which isn't removal, but it prevents an attack, also includes for me. Any of that kind of stuff, it stops attacks, removes stuff, it slows your opponent down. Get it in your deck if you can, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be very upset if anyone Chrome Reveres my Animal Wrecker, to be honest. But moving on. So we're going to jump into some discussion on cards now. We've highlighted some of the cards that we want to see. So I will pull them up on screen just now. We're going to start off with some legends. So the first one we are going to jump into is V. These are not in any particular
order. It's a good one to start with.
Some cards that we want to talk about, some cards we want to highlight. I think when we did our Legends tier list, this was one that we put into Chromed Out, so obviously we're a big fan of this card anyway. Again, touching on vanillas, it's a 5/8. One of the best cards in the game, in my opinion. Yeah, what are you thinking on this one, Kieran?
No, I think it's a really good legend to pull in a seal format. I think it's the go solo ability, isn't it, that we like on it. You can play it for 5. It comes in swinging straight away as an 8. you take, sorry, you're taking a gig or you're clearing board straight away. And like we touched on with the vanillas, this is similar to a vanilla stat line with adrenaline kicked into it. So it's for me, it's one of the better legends we have. And I would definitely hoping to be pulling this in one of my packs or my Legends pack and being able to build around it. So
yeah, absolutely. I think we left it out of the PowerPoint, but I just want to touch on it before we go into any more of the Legends. Is
yep.
the go solo? I think for Legends is going to be where
Yes.
you want to be. You want to think you want to play multiple go Legends, go solo if you can.
Yep.
These are just an extension of your hand. As we said, you want to get as many sellables in the deck. This is a way to get more units to play without having them in your hand. So if you can play them from your Legend Zone, that's only going to be a bonus in Seal because you need to get things on the board as well. So yeah,
definitely.
one thing we didn't touch on in the
no, it's a good point. I do think a lot of the passive Legends we have, some of them you could play and never get the effect off in the game. So it's just a wasted card then. I mean, it's not wasted because you can still use it as a resource, but you get the point. Like you want high impact cards in sealed and stuff that can get you over the finish line. So
absolutely, and I think go solo is where you want to be at. But obviously, you're not.
Yes.
The chances you pulling like all of the best go solos for sealed is going to be very rare. So you've got to build with what you get again. So
it's finding that balance, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Moving on from V, so the next one we're going to look at is Goro. Again, a very solid card in its own right. Again, we put it in chromed out for our Legends tier list. Very powerful card. Similar to V, it is a 5 cost go solo, but it has blocker as well, which is going to be so important. Even just playing this and then swinging for 7 and then taking a gig is good. So, but blocker effect, if you need to hold this back as a blocker so it really deters your opponent from swinging at your gigs, this is a good way to do it.
Definitely. This card actually has, now I'm looking at it, most of the things we highlighted in the presentation. It can be used as a resource. It's got a vanilla stat line. It can attack straight away, and it's a blocker. Like, what more do you want from a card than Seal?
Play this card.
Like this is probably the best one to have. I think. Now I'm just thinking about it and reading the card.
I would agree.
Put this at the top.
I would agree. I think it's got, as you said, it's got everything that you need it to do. There's no reason not to play this if you pull it. It's just gonna be one of the most impactful. There's a really solid combo out there with the Sandana or Sandana Stan, sorry. Just to ready him. I mean, if you pull that off in sealed, like you're just gonna win the majority of your games. I'll swing with a definitely. 9. I'll swing with a 9, take a gig. Oh, end of my turn. I'll ready my blocker. Like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Goro, definitely one you want to be pulling. Next, we're going to look at Evelyn. So she is a passive legend, the first one that we've highlighted. Not one that we were the biggest fan of for our tier list, our Legends tier list. The reason I think we've put this in here at the moment is just because of the passive ability. Kieran mentioned before that you might not get off a lot of the passive abilities for your Legends. This is one that you definitely can. An extra resources always feels good. So even if you get to you play a cantrip like an all is lost just to draw the card or get a card into your hand, you then get to ready that Eddie if you've got a Corpo or a Ganger on the board, so you can then get more value out of it. Also, any 0 cost units that you want to get out the way. I don't think that ability is going to come in much use in sealed, but I think the Ready and Eddie is probably some of the best passive stuff we've got. What are your thoughts, Kieran, and what are you thinking?
I think it's one of the better passive cards we have. I'd say, for sealed, getting to use that ability is useful. The more resources you're going to want to be playing on curve, and it's going to be low end top stuff in sealed a lot of the time. You're not going to be ramping to 7, 8 quickly, and your game's probably not going to be lasting that long to be getting up to that level. So if you can get extra resources early mid game and then use them to just get extra cards down, extra programs, even if you just get the extra resource and you use it on if you've got a quick hack to draw the card or something on when you can use it, anything like that is just a bit more. It's some added bonus for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think it's alright. It's one of the better passive cards. And if you do get some cards, you can. There's I think the Arasaka one as well. Maybe there is a few little legends out there. If you do pull good from your packs, you could go a little bit tribalish with them.
Yeah.
There's always someone, every pre-release, there's always someone who does that and
managed to pull it off.
Yeah, exactly. So there is the option there. I think it's one of the better passive ones we have for sealed at the minute.
I'm glad you touched on the Arasaka stuff there, because I actually think the Arasaka legends for sealed can be quite good, because there is a wide array of tribal units in that. I think the draw discard one, the Yorinobu, is actually really solid for sealed. But it has to
be. You just got to hope you get the units.
So obviously, it just depends on your pulls. If you pull enough Arasakas that you're confident to play that as a legend, it's really good deck filtering. That passive ability just to draw discard. If you get above 20 street cred, or I can't remember if they changed it to more than your opponent. No, I think it is 20. You get above the 20.
I think it's 20.
Cred, you get to then just draw the card anyway. So, it is a good ability. It's just whether you pull enough Arasaka units to pull that off.
Definitely. So, there is options out there. Yeah. You just got to see what you get in your packs and go from there, really.
Absolutely. And then the next one we're going to look at is Hanako. And again, Kieran, I'll let you take it away with this one because I know this is one of your favourite cards. I think.
So I think it's one of the better passive ones. It's just the ability for the card draw for me, and it's easy to pull off. It's going to be a resource in your pool for the entire game, and then it's a low cost. You get to manipulate the gigs, and then you just get the extra card draw. Well, hopefully, if you can stop your opponent taking them, or if you've got enough value gigs to do it next day. But most of the time, it works. So I think this will be a sneaky good one. Definitely, I think probably the best passive one for sealed, maybe. Just to get the card draw, in TCGs, just in general, we always say on this channel, card draw is king. I think in sealed, card draw is so much harder to come by. So any advantage you can get through getting easy card draw, which I do think this card offers, is a bonus for me. So if you do pull this, I think it's definitely one worth considering putting in your free legends.
Couldn't agree more. Just the cards that say draw the card, as you say, hard to come by, so you've got to get them in the deck. Definitely a good one for sealed. Going on to the next one, another Go Solo. Again, Kieran, I'll come to you for this. Why have we put this in here?
It's just the Go Solo, the big stat line, isn't it, really? It comes out as a 6, it swings with an 8. It's at that point in the game, if your opponent has something exerted, it's likely killing it, especially in sealed. So you've got the option there, you clean up the board, or you go to the gigs, depending on the board state, and you get an easy gig. And there's the potential, if you've got a Mantis Blaze in your deck, because you can do that. It's straight up to a 10, isn't it? So you're swinging in for 2 gigs there straight away. So I think for me, it's the stat line and the cost and how easy you can potentially get up to 10 as well is the main draw point for me. I think you're thinking the same thing, aren't you?
100%. Treating this as a vanilla unit, it's a 6/8, which, is actually, I can't believe I'm saying these words, but
understated with a vanilla within Cyberpunk.
Understated for what we're used to, For 6, we're expecting, for 6 eddies, we're expecting 10 power. You know what I mean? With Animal Wrecker. But his effect, I don't think we're ever going to use his effect. I don't really like his effect in Constructed. I don't really see the viability of it. But the stat line, as we've just said, we're treating this as a vanilla unit. It is just a 6/8. Comes out, big beater. Takes something off the board or takes a gig. So, moving on to the next one.
For sure.
The final legend we're going to talk about is Rogue. Now, this is a more interesting one. Obviously, like
Bit of a wild card.
yeah, the cost of 7 is what puts me off. But I suppose in the late game, if you've put enough sellables in your deck and you've got up to that number, this card is brilliant. It says draw a card on it, which brilliant.
Also says opponent discards, which is also
Exactly.
brilliant.
If you can get
especially
to this card,
in sealed,
really strong. But what I actually think what people are undervaluing for this ability is that it says when a friendly legend. So that doesn't just have to be Rogue herself. So if you're playing multiple Go Solo legends in your deck, and then you get to steal 2 gigs in a turn with 2 legends, you get this effect off. So again, card draw. It's what we're all about. Draw cards. But yeah, the cost of 7 is a bit expensive, but I think it's definitely worth talking about Rogue and Sealed, because if you get up to that threshold, she's one that's gonna impact the game, I think. So yeah,
I agree.
To look out for.
Bit of a wild card, but if you do get it, it's worth consideration. Just think about what other legends you've got and how easy you can get to the 7.
Yeah, how you fit everything in.
Yeah, the only thing I would say about the Go Solo legends, maybe there's some new players out there to TCGs. Keep in mind when you use the Go Solo ability, you do lose a resource in your resource pool. Yes. So do think about that when you're doing these things, and keep in mind how many resources you're going to have going into your next turn. Because what you don't want to do is forget about that, and then you go into your next turn and you can't do what you wanted to do then, and you sort of misplay, and then you lose the momentum. So just think about stuff like that, and just keep your mind in the game.
From Kieran, that if you play a Go Solo against him and it's the only thing on board, he's gonna Les Element you. So bear that in mind. He's just told you what he's gonna do. Yeah, so moving on from Rogue, we're going to start looking at some of the units that we wanted to pinpoint and really flesh out. So the first one is V. She is a 5-cost, 6-powered unit, good stat line. Again, the abilities on the cards are not going to be like you can't build around these abilities. You just kind of get what you're given. So draw cards is the reason that this is in here. It works really well with as itself as a self-contained unit. If it steals a gig, up the value of that gig by up to 5. That should get you above the threshold of 8. As long as you control a gig, 2 gigs at the end of your turn with the value of 8 or above, you get to draw the card. Going to get you through that deck. You can play this turn 2. Really nice setup moving into the middle of the game. So definitely one to look out for. Kieran?
I agree. Not massively. You've sort of covered it there. It's a 5/6, which is solid. And like you said, you can't really build around a lot of the cards. So cards like this, where it's it's synergistic within itself. Yeah. It does what it needs to do to get its main ability off. Good cards to have in there. And like I say, card draw, always good. So yeah, I like this. I think this will be a good one in sealed. So
yeah, absolutely. The next one, we have the one that Kieran gave a spoiler to. We were going to talk about the blocker. So I'll let Kieran jump on this one as to why this is one we want to talk about.
Yeah, I think this is a really good card in general, just within the TCG. I think in sealed, it's amplified by how hard card draw is to come by. So if you can get a blocker down, and then you can use its effect to block, and your opponent has to discard. Discarding in sealed, for anyone who's ever played a sealed game before, is horrible. It is not something you want to do. So having the ability to throw this down for free, it's a low cost. It eats an attack, and your opponent's discarding. If you do get really lucky, and you can somehow manage to keep this on board with it doing the block, maybe you attach your gear to it, or whatever it is you do, and you can get this off multiple times in the game, it's going to eat your opponent's hand away. And if it doesn't, it's going to make them not swing. So either way, it's a win-win. I think this is a really good card, and it's, for me, also included in sealed.
Couldn't agree more. We've harped on quite a lot about why card draw is important in sealed. If you can attack your opponent's hand as well, it's going to really put them on the back foot, and it's a blocker. So yeah, it's a double whammy in that regard. Definitely one you want to be putting in your decks. The next card we are going to look at is Field Operator. This is one that I think for the low cost, and you're not playing this for its stats. You're just playing it for the effect of draw one. So obviously you have to bear in mind that you need your street cred to be an even number, or in the mid game when you feel like you don't have a lot to do. Maybe you've called a legend. You've not really got much else to play. One like just to play a 3-cost cantrip isn't bad. Yeah, Kieran, what are your thoughts? I know this is just a very simple card, but one we want to touch on.
No, I think it's simple, but I think it can be very valuable. Get my words out there. It's low cost to play. It does have a 2 attack baseline, so it can swing in for gigs, which is the thing for me. And you can get the card draw off it. I think the card draw should be relatively easy to get, given the scenario you need to get it. I don't think that's going to be hard to achieve. So I think playing for free, it can swing for gigs and you get some card draw. I think it's nice. We do need to have early plays as well in the game. Like you can't just have your deck full of 5, 6, 7. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You need to have these cards on board. These are the kind of cards that you can get down early and swing in and start putting pressure on your opponent straight away. So yeah, I think it's not special, not spectacular, but it's in there. It does the job. I think it's quite efficient for sealed.
Yes, couldn't agree more. Moving on to the next one, Nadia. So she's a bit more of a beefy unit. As Kieran was mentioning, you need that balance. I know this is one you were excited for, so go on. I'll let you take this one as well, Kieran.
I really like this card. Again, the thing for me in sealed is these baselines. You play 6, you get 8 cost down, and then the ability on it is just actually really good as well. And I think you're gonna be able to pull that ability. It's the more gigs than your rival. So I think that ability is going to be easy to do, and then it comes in swinging straight away. So I think for me, if I pull this, it also includes it's a good game finisher. It'll catch your opponent off guard. I think because not a lot of people will be thinking about this getting played. It's a bit more of a low key one, I think. So for me, yeah.
I actually think this card's quite good and constructed. I actually think it's a lot better than sealed. I think it can really catch you up. It's like it gives adrenaline, essentially, if your opponent's got more gigs. So obviously you can't swing into units, so it's not the same as adrenaline, but you're just swinging at the gigs just to equalize the game. But if you can remove some of their key pieces before you swing in, then Nadia is also then protected. So then you're sitting there sitting pretty with an 8 power unit going into the next turn. So this is definitely one to look at.
Yeah, it is 8 as well. So again, a Mantis blade takes us over to a 10. So if you're late game and you do have the eddies there, which is a scenario, you can play this Mantis blade, swing in for 2 gigs.
I think the game may well be yours. That 8 stat line is really, really impactful for sealed for that reason. We're going to get the Mantis blade promo, so you're going to get at least 1.
Exactly.
It's important to think of that scenario of, can I get a Mantis blade on this unit? Can I take 2 gigs?
Exactly. And if you're playing after watching this video, you're going to be playing a lot of card draw based on what we're saying. You're going to see your Mantis blade, hopefully.
And hopefully you pull 2 more in your packs as well, because I believe it is only a common. So that's something that you should see in your packs.
You should see plenty of them. I would like to think if you play with your promo one, realistically, you're probably playing at least 2 in there.
At least 2 in the deck, I would say.
So, yeah. I mean, if you're not, you've probably got a bit unlucky with your balls. But
and if you're really lucky, then you're playing a full play set of Mantis blades. And I think if you do pull 2 in your packs and then obviously your promo, you should play all 3.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next card, we have Goro. So again, Kieran talking about early plays. This is a 4-cost unit. If you're on the draw, you get to play this turn 1. It's just a nice stat line for what it does. You might play turn 1, but I don't think you're gonna really swing with it until you've managed to get your legends face up.
Yeah.
But if you're in a scenario where you're sitting there pretty with a 4-cost unit, a 4-power unit in Goro going into the mid game because they've missed it, like they've called a legend on turn 1, maybe
Yep.
played like an all is lost to try and draw some cards, or like trust no one just to draw some cards. This can swing freely. And then I think as you get into the mid game and you call all your legends, having a 9-power unit just to swing with. Obviously, it's not going to be. It's only when it swings that it'll have the +5, but it's just it can be impactful in those mid game scenarios. Maybe take out a unit, equalize the board, make sure that you're in the stronger
Definitely.
position. It's not really something that you want to take out all the time, so it can kind of go under the radar. And again, Mantis Blades on this with your 3 face-up legends is an 11 of power, so it takes
Yep.
2 gigs. It's just that synergy of trying to get above
Well,
the
definitely.
10 threshold.
He's a game changer, isn't he?
Yeah, I think
if you can get him off with his 9 attack, which is relatively easy to do,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I think he's one of the cards you want to. Sorry, I was just going to say you want to play him like the turn before you want to use him. Don't leave him on the board too long, just in case your opponent can't interact with it.
Yeah.
So just think ahead and plan accordingly.
Even on like if you were to play this turn 2, so even if you don't play it, if you're on the draw and you play this like on your 5 eddy turn, maybe you call the legend and play the 3-drop, or call the legend, play the blocker. Then the next turn you play this, and then call another legend. You've got 2 face-up legends, and then bite for 6 on the 6 resource turn. As long as you've seen the sellables, he's already swinging for the 9. So you just have to think about how to sequence the plays with this card. But I think it will be really impactful when it gets up to the 9.
Definitely. High impact game winner there.
Yeah, absolutely. The next one, purely for the adrenaline ability, it is the modded. I can't say that. Kasasagi.
Kusanagi, is it? I don't know. We'll butcher it either way.
It's a motorbike with adrenaline. It's going to come in. It's going to hit for 8. It's in the late game. It costs 6. What I like about this card is it bounces back to hand. That's the thing. It's like if they've got a way to answer it when it's spent, they can't do that anymore. They have to find another way to do it. Maybe with like a floor it, and it swings into like and a blocker. Maybe I don't know. I don't really know how you answer this card. When you get to the 6 resources, you can essentially what you want to do with this is get to 6, play it, swing in, take a gig, bounce back to hand, play it, swing in, take a gig. How do you overcome that? Because you know every turn you're going to get hit by 8, and there's nothing you can really do to stop it. So
I think the only way you can sort of slow that down is to get blockers on board and then play your own game in there and then just try and steal double gigs. So for every one the Kusanagi steals, exactly, you try and steal 2. But then obviously you've got the overtime wheels to take into that. So I think it's a really good card in Sealed. It's a game winner. So people are not going to be expecting this because it's not like one of the popular cards, I don't think. So if you do drop this and straight in, give me your gig, it's like, oh, what do we do now? I wasn't expecting that. So yeah.
Also, as well, one thing to bear in mind is if this is the only card you've got in hand, it gets around those discard effects because it's on the board. So we've like an augmented negotiators. You swing in, they block with that. You've got no cards. You can't discard anyway, and then it goes back to hand. So it's just a really good way to keep the tempo of the you constantly get to swing. So definitely one to look out for in Sealed. I think we're going to jump into some gear and some programs. Just obviously there's some really impactful ones like we've mentioned throughout, like Mantis Blades, stuff like that. So we're going to touch on some of the less impactful ones that may have a big impact for Sealed. Satori is definitely one that has a big impact in Constructed, but it's the fact that it just says draw a card. It's one that you will see people playing. I know, Kieran, this is one that you're keen on.
Yes, I like this particularly in Sealed. I think it's cheap. It gives a nice +2 buff, and you get the card draw off it. Well, you're going to get the card draw off it, like if that's what you want to do. But for me, it's just really good. Early game and mid game, just to help, even just to help clear board. Because you're probably going to be playing, both people are going to be trying to play on curve and going to be playing similar powered units. Turn after turn, it's going to be you play a 5, whatever they maybe play a 6. So if you can swing into one of those and buff it with this, you're probably going to get rid of it. And if you can keep the board clear in Sealed, it does give you a nice advantage. And then you're getting the card draw alongside that off of Satori. So I like it. I think it's one of the better ones. And again, you can sell it, worst case. So I like it. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. One thing I really like about the gear in this game is that you can put it on your face-up legends. So the fact that we're playing a lot of go solo stuff, even if you call a legend and you've got nothing else to do, but you've got 2 open resources, you just attach this to a go solo legend, setting up for your later turns, come out, swing for 10, swing into something, take a gig, or take 2 gigs with like a Corpo, Exile V, or swing into one of their units and take and draw the card. So it's really versatile of where you're up to. If you're ahead, you maybe draw the card and clear the board. If you're behind, you swing and take the 2 gigs. It's got that like versatility to it. So I do really like this.
Definitely.
The next one. This is again impactful and constructed. However, that ability of rivals must pay 2 more for go solo in Sealed is bonkers. If you get this onto a Hariko or like any like, it doesn't really matter. You just want to on a legend as soon as possible, because if they flip V on their first turn on the play, and then you play this to just stop them from playing that V, it can turn off the deck.
Definitely, it slows them down massively, doesn't it?
It's. I think this is bonkers in a sealed format. I really do.
I agree. I think, like we've touched on today as well, I think a lot of people will be playing Go Solo Legends and going with an aggressive approach in Sealed, because it's, that kind of just how Sealed goes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So being able to nullify that aggression to this degree for that cheap cost as well is a massive advantage, in my opinion. Yeah. So if you can get as many of these in the deck as you can, I think.
People also forget it gives blocker.
Yeah. Another key thing.
Ridiculous card. Flora, very simple, very impactful for sealed. If they're swinging with an animal wrecker, for example, give it -1. They only take 1 gig. Definitely something you want to look out for. You can do this on their turn. It's a cantrip. Pay 1, draw 1. Things that we like to do. I like the synergy with Evelyn. It's the reason that I wanted to talk about Evelyn, is like cards like this. You steal a gig, you then ready and Eddie before the end of your turn, and then you set up just to like really manipulate what they're doing, and maybe they're swinging with a unit that is bigger than your blocker, maybe a Goro, and then you give it -1 to get it in range, they trade, or your Goro survives. Just makes it feel better. What are you thinking on this one for Seal, Kieran?
I agree. I like it. Again, it's just, for me, it's the versatility of it. You mentioned on the Evelyn section there, which is nice, and the Animal Wrecker again, which is covered most of the things I would have said. You take it down from 2 gigs to 1, but it's also just a card draw. So even if you don't need the -1 on anything, you just pay 1. You can draw the card and just go through your deck to try and hopefully find the pieces in there that will win you the game. Yeah. So for me, it's a great little one. I'll be putting these in the deck.
Sellable as well, as we've said.
Yeah. Like I say, these cards are great, versatile, multiple things they offer. You just use it in whatever situation it needs to be used in at the time.
Absolutely. So. And then the last one we want to touch on, Bonnie and Clyde. I know, Kieran, this is one that you sent me. You were quite excited for sealed. So
Yes.
let you take it away.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this card in both formats, to be fair, constructed and sealed. It's cheap, it's removable, it's easy to get off, and I think it will be easy to get off and sealed as well. And it does massive damage, to be honest. It's going to put your opponent back quite a bit. And it's sellable, which is a good thing about programs and gear. Like, you can take a bit more of a risk with them on some of them, because worst case, you just use it as a resource at the end of the day. But I think this is a high impact removal piece in sealed, so hopefully I see some of these and get to play them.
Yeah, I think for me, cards like this, because obviously, like in a constructed format with the 3 RAM, you have to, like, you're so restricted because you have to put it in a double red deck.
Yep.
Seal gives you so much freedom in that regard. Like, just throwing like a copy of this in, and then you, like, on your turn, play Floric, give them -1, draw the card. Family Bonnie and Clyde. You get to then play that next turn, maybe take 2 things off the board if you're behind. I just think it's really versatile. I think, as you mentioned, it's one of the best removal pieces for sealed.
Yeah,
because of the lack of RAM restriction.
For sure, it's a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's pretty low cost as well, which just amplifies that. For me, it's a big impact for low cost, which is what we like.
Absolutely. And that concludes like what our thoughts on sealed at the moment. Obviously, we've not got to play the format yet. We just wanted to jump on, give our thoughts and feelings, what we're thinking for sealed. So
yeah, I think and there is still cards to be revealed, so that might change things and how we see things. But yeah, I think that's a general decent card of what we think. And yeah, I think for sealed, so just in general, if it's your first sealed event, you've never done it before, just they're the kind of cards you want to look for. Stuff that you can play on curve. When you're sorting your cards out, make sure you do have cards which you can play on curve going first and going second. Because if you lose the dice roll and you set your deck up to play on the draw, and then you have to go on the play, and then you can't do nothing, and you're falling behind because of that, it's not a good feeling. Trust me, we've all done it. So yeah, I think for sealed, one of the big things I would say is just think it through in the deck build. Take your time. Put your cards into. What I do personally is put my cards into separate piles: vanillas, sellables, removal stuff. What we went through at the beginning of the video. For this, I'm going to see what legends I get. Highlight the 3, 4, 5 of them, which I think will be the strongest, and then just sort of have a look at the cards I've put to one side, and just see what works, what I can do, and then go from there. And then hopefully everyone who's watching this can get some sealed wins. I know I'm hoping to get some. And I'm sure you're hoping to get some, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely. I think sealed is always a good indication of like skill expression. So if we can get some wins, obviously, and validate what we're talking about and why we're talking about it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, like everything Kieran, I just want to echo everything Kieran's just said there. I think it's really, really important just to separate everything down. Really take your time, think about why these cards will go in the deck, the scenarios you're going to come up against, and ultimately win the game using that strategy. So,
for sure,
it's not the easiest format to play because you have to build around what you get. So just bear that in mind. Obviously, you might get some bad pulls, but you just have to work with it, work through it, slow down. If you don't get the cards you don't want to see, if you don't get the cards you want to see, there's still ways to find wins. You just have to be a bit more creative with that.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Like, you don't know what your opponent's got either.
Exactly.
So, why you might not be finding the game-ending cards or, the game changes, the big cards, what people will be speaking about online and what we've mentioned a few of. Even if you get some units down early and you can still swing and take gigs, a lot of the time that will do the job. Yeah. Like, it's nice having the flashy cards, but in sealed, a lot of the time I found in other TCGs is it's, the ones you get down and just stick and just put pressure on your opponent early and often. That's what wins you the game. It's nice having the flashy card, but it doesn't always need to be there.
Not be the be all and end all.
Exactly.
Sorry,
go on. I was just gonna say, and just make sure you read the cards as well, because I've done this. I'm sure Steve's probably done it, and I see it all the time at pre-releases. I play a lot of pre-release games because I like it. And there's always people who misread the cards and think it does something it doesn't do, or it can do something concealed. And then when they play it, they're like, "Oh, does that not do that?" And then they just wasted the whole turn, basically. So just read the cards and make sure you know exactly what it does actually do.
Yeah, that is actually a very good point, and something that we probably should have touched on earlier. The wording on cards can be confusing at times, so just make sure you make sure you go through it, make sure you're happy with the effect that you're going to try and pull off, and then obviously, if your opponent calls you up on it, just be like normal about it. Don't be an ass. Basically, just be like, okay, fair enough, my bad. I thought it did something different.
It's a new TCG as well at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This is the first any kind of events we're getting, really, so people are still going to be learning. I'm sure there'll be plenty of misplays by people.
Oh, yeah.
So, just be nice to each other and play the game.
Ourselves, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
We're not position ourselves as experts. We're just people that really like to
play
TCGs and talk about it.
Yeah.
And we think we can add to that community and give some good information. So that's why we're doing this. But
yeah, I'm gonna say when I started, I was watching these videos for One Piece and Magic and stuff, and trying to learn how to play. So hopefully we can give some useful information to newer players and veterans alike, and hopefully it helps and everyone gets some winner cards.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Let's wrap up the pre-release discussion. Then I think we've touched on everything really. Don't think there's anything else we really want to go over.
No, all I would say, sorry, just one last thing is the cards we have mentioned, we're just highlighting them as some ones that we think will be good. There are other good cards in there. Like, if you do watch this, don't auto zone in on everything we've mentioned. We try to highlight what we think will impact and how they can synergize. You might pull a bunch of Arasaka units which will work better within your deck. So you just think it through. You use this video as a guide and a baseline by all means. But it's not necessarily these are the top cards, you need to play these. I just wanted to reiterate that a bit. And obviously there is more cards to come out. So
it is our opinion as well. Like, these are the cards that we think are going to be impactful. These are the cards we're going to be looking out for and we want to play. So, you might have a different strategy in mind. You may have sat down and thought, actually, what I want to do with my pre-release, I want to pull X amount of this card, X amount of this card, and I want to build this style of deck, not card, effect. And then that way you can build a strategy, and that might work for you. This is just our opinion and what we think will work. So yeah, definitely bear that in mind. Absolutely. Thanks for joining us again. I'm sure we will be back at Chrome Cardboard. But yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yep. Bye.